Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Did You Know? This is Angie Perez with Paradigm IT Group and Paradigm IT Talent. Getting right to our topic today. If you follow me on social media, you might have come across a post that I shared last week, or you might have come across it on your own. A beautiful 13-year-old girl from California named Patricia Alatone, who had lost her life so tragically to the hands of an online predator. This beautiful girl left her home and met with the online predator who, later on obviously took her life in just such a tragic way. So really inspired me to share today's episode. And in the past, we've shared these parents beware. Here are some dangers that you need to be aware of as it relates to children, social media, and just technology, period. Today's episode, however, we are titling it How to Talk to Your Kids About the Dangers of Social Media. And it made me think about the fact that I know and I can read, hey, junk food is bad for you. But until I understand how to stop eating junk food, those are two different conversations. So hopefully today's conversation will leave you with at least one tip that you can add into your action plan. So let's get right to it. We broke it up into 5 tips for you. So stay with me. Number 1 is understanding the dangers within the internet, the World Wide Web. And so when it comes to understanding the dangers of technology as it relates to our children, it's important for us to understand that it is all over the World Wide Web. That means that the online games that they may play, in phishing websites, social networking platforms, cyberbullying, and just so many, shopping, so many places within and all over the internet, really. So understanding that is critical. Number 2 is communicate. Start early. So put a pin next to communicate, but one of the things that we wanted to emphasize is that the conversation needs to start early. Children are no longer having access to technology until they turn this age. They're being born into a technology-driven world. So the earlier that you start, kind of like with the ABCs, that's critical. So number 3 is be open-minded and be honest. Avoid using generic terms, right, that are meaningless to our kids. So for example, hey, be careful while using social media. Okay, a child, that means nothing to them. So you need to expand in the subject, in the topic, and give them a better understanding of why and how to be careful. So you want to obviously use age appropriate but very solid and specific examples. Maybe use analogy. Very easy one would be, for example, letting your kid know that, giving their password information out is literally like giving someone a key to your home. Very much the same, scenario. So that is number 3. Number 4, it's setting ground rules. Parents, I know we strive to be the best parents that we can be, but setting ground rules is just part of the basic responsibility that we have to protect our children. So rules are important, just the same way that, when you go get your driver's license, they don't just give you a driver's license based on you telling them that you know how to drive, but you have to go through all these steps and prove to them that, you in fact can follow the rules and the safety road rules out there. So it's all about safety, and it's all about having ground rules that are necessary for safety purposes. So some of the things that you need to think about is setting parameters around things like how much time are your children spending on technology? What are they to use the internet for? Things of that nature. Talk to your children about it. And in conjunction with that, monitoring what your children are doing. Again, it's not a thing of taking away privacy. It's a thing of you taking on responsibility. So there's many tools out there. If you need help with that, go back to some of the videos that we've posted in the past. We have some good ideas for you on where to start. Number 5 is set a good example, right? How many times do we say, do as I say, don't do as I do? That does not fly when it comes to our children. So it is very, very important. And I can't stress enough how it just takes one time, one mistake, one time. You need to understand that predators out there going and looking for that one time, one mistake that your children will make online. They will use that to blackmail and manipulate them to take full control over their actions. So it is important and critical that, going back to that communication pin, that we have ongoing communications, and that as parents, we are making it easy for our children to come to us and say, hey, I made a mistake. This happened, and I know it was wrong, but we need to fix it together. You need to verbally say that to your children, because otherwise, instilling fear, sometimes as adults, we're like, don't do that, don't do that. And we forget to say, hey, well, I really don't want you to do that because A, B, and C. However, I know I'm not perfect. I know that I've made my great share of mistakes. And if you do find yourself making a mistake, no matter what it is, let's talk about it. We're going to figure it out together. I can't promise you I'm going to be mad. I'm not going to be mad, or I'm not going, but I can promise you that I have your best interest at heart, and I am always going to do what's best for you. Have those conversations with your children. Finally, keep the conversation going. So some talking points for you to keep these conversations weekly, maybe at the dinner table, when you go out for a walk with your children. Make it a part of what you guys talk about every day, because technology is not going away. And these predators out there are only getting smarter by the second. So here are some food for thought for you. When in doubt, talk it out. So if your kid ever comes across anything that makes them feel uncomfortable, upsets them, or even they think that it's inappropriate, it's best to tell a trusted adult. The other talking point is promise them a no judgment or no freak out reaction. It takes practice. Trust me, I get it, but start practicing, okay? To anything that they want to bring up. So deliver on that promise, no matter how worrisome the admission. They need to feel confident. And here's another point. If you're not around, so during the school day, teachers, guidance counselors, coaches, and other trusted adults can also help. So tell your children who those people are. One life is way too many, and I know that it's not just one life that is affected on, even a daily basis. So the internet is a beautiful thing. It allows me to share things like this with you, but it's also a horrible, horrific place for people that are miseducated, and our children are just so vulnerable to it. On that note, you go forth and conquer. Make it a wonderful week. Start talking to your kids today. That's your homework. All right. We'll see you next week. Ciao.